All right, welcome everybody. We're going to get the 2 Meter Crew Anti-Net started off here in just a second. And my name's Nick. Thanks for visiting Northwest Ham Shack. I have made 100 subscribers this week, so appreciate everybody supporting me and supporting Jason and everything that we try to do to make this show work for everyone. And with that, I'll kick it off to Chris. He's going to be the net control tonight, so take it away, Chris. He's going to be the net control tonight, so take it away, Chris.
1 second, I just got to get these things muted so we don't end up letting... Yeah, that.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, come on in. Hear the mysterious ham operators. Laugh at the clowns and marvel at the knowledge of the Elmers. And best of all, you need to participate to make this the greatest ham radio anti-net show on earth. This is the 2 Meter Crew Anti-Net. The good news, tonight we're going to be live streamed on the hottest new channel on YouTube, Northwest Ham Shack, hosted by our very own famous ham operator up there in Washington, Nick, KN6DAL. Nick, you there?
Yep, I'm here. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate everyone coming out tonight and looking forward to the Anti-Net. Back to you.
Nick, good proof on our tech as well, making sure you're coming through. You could use a little boost in your audio if you can do it on the RF side. So yeah, the good news tonight is that you'll be hosted there. The bad news is that you're also stuck with me, N6CMB, Chris in Clayton, California, to act as your anti-master of ceremony. I'd like to thank the owners and the supporters of the W6VBR repeater and the Vaca Valley Radio Club for letting us use their repeater. Their continued support lets us get together once a week here to enjoy our radio hobby. We happen to have the president. This is like a very high member of the whole club, important guy here. So we'll say hi to Kevin, N6VLF. Kevin, how are you?
Doing very good, Chris. Thanks for the kudos there. Yeah, everybody's welcome. We love doing it. We love the 2 Meter Crew. This has been a great opportunity for everybody to get together and have fun with ham radio. So, great thanks to Nick there from the Northwest Ham Shack for hosting it for us tonight. Thanks, Nick. And, of course, you too, Chris, for being our grand master of the whatever it is we're doing. Back to you, Chris.
I forgot who that other guy who used to host the show here on YouTube. Who was that guy anyway? I don't know. We forgot him already.
Yeah, we forgot.
Every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. It's an open anti-net. Everyone's welcome. Please feel free to join in. In fact, we really need you guys to join in to make this thing work. All right? So we made it pretty easy for that to happen. If you live within the footprint of the infamous W6VBR, you can join. You can tune in on 2 meters using a frequency of 145.470 with a negative offset of 600 kilohertz and a PL of 123.7. No, 127.3. That was a test. And my dogs are all saying hello to all that. For those of you tech wizards out there, you can find us digitally through the interwebs using Echolink at WG5EEK. Thank you, Mike, for all of these different digital modes we get to use. Our All-Star node at 51094 and a DMR talk group of 314-9964. Hey, Mike, WG5EEK, you want to give us a quick update on how our digital modes are holding up?
Yeah, no problem. This is Mike here at WG5EK, and so far so good. I have people been using them. I tested them out in the field for the DMR and for the Echolink, and they're holding up strong. So if anybody has any issues, just shoot me an email or a text or something and let me know. Be happy to take a look.
Mike, one thing I never really thought about, these aren't just put up here for the show, for the Anti-Net. These are up all week long, every day. Anyone can jump on the repeater through these. Is that right?
Absolutely. So anything you see scrolling around the bottom of the screen there, or if you're listening, so DMR Talk Group 314-9964, and then of course W6VVR-R or WG5EEK-L for both Echolink, and then we've got 51094 if you're into All-Star. So that's what we got so far for the digital. If you're not local, or if you're just out and about and want to try it out, maybe you're in a bad coverage area, and yeah, they're up all the time, 24/7. As long as my internet and electricity are up, they're working.
And thanks, Mike. We really appreciate you and the work that you put in to make sure those things stay up and running and troubleshooting them. It really adds a lot to letting folks jump in from around the world, really. And we do have worldwide users on the Anti-Net in the 2 Meter Crew. And visiting the Northwest Ham Shack, don't want to forget that we're being live streamed on YouTube via Nick's channel, the Northwest Ham Shack, and his video producer, Molly, might even make a check-in tonight. Nick, how are you?
Well, things seem to be going pretty good. I've managed to make it through the first 4 minutes without any major complaints from audio. So that's a good thing. That seems to be my challenge. But all's well up here. The smoke is socked in really, really bad. It has been for about a week now. And so as soon as Zoom starts to die down, I'll try to make it back into the house and get just a little bit of fresh air, because I've been out in it all day. So yeah, other than that, things are going good. I managed to get my hands on a cool new toy, and maybe if we have time, I'll talk about it a little bit later. But until then, back to you, Chris.
KN60AL and 6CMB, thank you for kicking it back over. All right, today's Wednesday, the 16th of September in the exciting year of 2020. Looking back at this day in history, a guy named William Durant created General Motors on September 16th, 1908. Buick Motor Company, headed by William Crapo Durant, sends 2,000 to incorporate General Motors in New Jersey. Durant was a high school dropout that made his fortune building horse-drawn carriages. In fact, he did cars. He thought they were noisy, smelly, and dangerous. Nevertheless, the giant auto company he built would dominate the American auto industry for decades. So, high school dropout and created quite a company there. There's hope for us all yet. As a reminder, the 2 Meter Crew is not an actual club, just some hams that hang out together, try to learn, enjoy all things ham. There's no fees to be a 2 Meter Club member, and if you want to find out more info, probably the best place to go is to check out 2MC on Facebook. Speaking of which, any chance that K6DJV, our own Green Donkey, is out on the air tonight? I have to admit, it is rare that we get a donkey sighting this late at night. He's an early morning kind of animal that prowls around mountaintops. But maybe, Nick, do you have any update on how we're doing over there on the Facebooks?
KN60AL, Nick here in Everett. No, but I can pull it up on my phone and take a look. I kind of stopped counting when our numbers started getting so high, and we just kept shooting up and shooting up. It seems like once we hit 150 people, it just started skyrocketing. And now we're up to 263 members. There's 3 admins on this Facebook page, including myself, and it seems like all day long we're just constantly cycling through new call signs and more people coming in. So it's great to see the support, and it's really awesome to see some of the things that people are posting. There's anything from funny memes to serious questions about antenna setups or radio setups, just people having a hard time or needing help, things that people are trying to get rid of. So really it's just kind of free for all to give everybody an opportunity to chat. You can also check our Discord out, and I'll post that link when I get a moment in the YouTube chat. For those of you that haven't seen our Discord, we also have another avenue of communicating, but all great ways to get in touch with people. If you ever have any questions or want to post it or any comments, suggestions, feel free to jump on. Currently we're at 263 members, so that's pretty cool. So with that, back to you.
That's fantastic, and it would be great to see that number keep shooting up. The activity there has been really good lately. Guys posting great links to, other ham activities going on, and just helping each other out and promoting the hobby. So definitely check it out if you get a chance. I'm still a little surprised each time I log on at how good the content is there right now. All right, anybody got any planned events coming up? Anything cooking at your local club? Are you going to be climbing a mountaintop and you want to make sure that you make a contact? What's going on in ham radio for you all in the next, couple of weeks?
Comment?
Head comment. Who we got there?
Cliff KF6EII here. One of my good buddies, Corey WA6SEK, has a repeater up on Mount Deluxe, which is South Tracy area. Well, needless to say, it burnt to the ground about 2 weeks ago. We're going to be holding a 2-day work party this Saturday and Sunday, I believe, unless he changes it at the last minute. And we're going to be doing cleanup before we get any new electronics in at the mountain. Anyways, that's what I'm going to be doing this weekend. Could use some help if anybody wants to volunteer to cut and rake and clean up.
Cliff, what's the best way for folks to volunteer and get involved? Would you go to your call and get it off of QRZ, or is there another place they can get information on going and helping out? Because I'm sure wouldn't be surprised if we couldn't get a few folks maybe to help out.
Oh, you can email me. It's a real easy email. It's Cliff. That's Charles Lincoln Ida Frank at kf6ei.com. Kick me over an email, and I check it 4 or 5 times a day, and I'll email you back.
Thanks for that. It'd be fantastic if we get some help out there, and I know that cleanup after a fire is not the fun part of the project, that's for sure, but it still needs to get done. I recently drove up to Washington from California, and kind of went through some of the active fires in southern Oregon. And once again, just like when we were down here during the fires, the airways were lit up with hams, helping each other out, offering to have people move to their houses, moving animals. I mean, you name it. People were on the air just doing what it took to help their brothers out. People who don't even know each other except being on the air, as ham radio operators. And every time I see that happen, I'm pretty darn impressed. And the Southern Oregon guys, they're no different than us up there. So unfortunately, on the ride south, I saw a little bit of the devastation, and it's pretty ugly up there, as it has been for us in California as well. So thoughts and prayers to everybody out there, and opportunities like this when they come, hopefully we can take advantage and help some brothers out.
Well, we appreciate the help. I think we've got about 6 or 7 people now, but we could use a whole lot more. Anyways, appreciate it. I got to jump out here, so like I said, kick me over an email. Please put your name and your call sign on the email so I know who you are. And that would be wonderful. Anyways, I got to jump out here. We'll talk to you later. KF6EII. I'll be clear on your final.
Thanks, Cliff. Appreciate you jumping in and putting a good word out for an important thing. All right. Anybody else out there got planned events? And actually, as long as we're in there, I'll open it up for help a brother out. If you need help moving a mast or an antenna or a body, we're your guys, So feel free to reach out. And also, if you just got a ham question, now's not a bad time to bring it up. We can either help you out with it now or set you up with help in the future, or find someone who can give you an answer. But anything from needing help to needing help with a ham question, bring it out now, and happy to help.
Step on and say hello, Can 6BXX.
6BXX, Michael and Carmichael, how are you, young man?
I'll take it as a compliment. Thank you very much. Thanks again, Chris and Nick, for doing that. And, yeah, Nick, I'm sorry about the smoke up there. My wife, Linda, was asking, too. How are things going up since you're north of that, what used to be the chop zone? How you doing, getting that drama up your way?
KN6DAL, yeah. No, things are good. I'm hoping it starts to rain again, and that'll just clear everything up. At least that's my hope.
Yeah, we're all hoping and praying for that too. It's a little more haze down here in Sacramento Valley. Thankfully, a little bit better, but yeah, we could use more clearing as well. Hey, by the way, too, as I said, do not deal with anybody trying to intrude Everwash with their agenda.
You're going to have to try that one more time, Michael. I didn't quite catch what you were asking.
Problem at all. So I'll try to clarify a little bit better. With all the stuff going on in all these cities, if you know what I'm talking about, certainly Seattle's one of the hot spots, or ground zero for all this stuff. So far, nothing tried to come up your way at all with BLM or Antifa? That's good over. It's not so much political, but more of for your safety of your family.
Well, my family's very well protected, but as far as all that stuff goes, it's pretty light. I'm about 35 miles north of Seattle, and I stay away from the city just because I don't like congested large groups of people. But yeah, everything's been pretty calm, pretty collected. I think most people are just kind of trying to get life back to normal with schools and stuff like that. But all in all, I would say it's kind of getting closer to business as usual as far as overall lifestyle is concerned.
Hear that, Nick? I'll step aside and enjoy listening to you guys. Thanks again, Chris and Nick. Can 6BXX.
Hey, Michael, thanks for checking in. Really appreciate it. And I will take Michael's check-in as our first official of the night, although we're pretty laid back with check-ins. But we are going to open it up tonight, see if we can get some folks on the repeater to start things off checking in, and maybe talking about, if we had a topic tonight, what I wanted to talk a little bit about is what your hobbies are, and if your hobby connects to ham radio, or if you forcibly make your hobby connect to ham radio, like pretty much whatever my hobbies are now. I like to ride motorcycles. So, of course, I'm trying to figure out how I can slam some ham radios on my motorcycle and go riding places where I can transmit from and, combine the two hobbies. So, hey, who's out there? What turns your crank other than ham radio? How do you connect them if you do? Let's talk hobbies. And let's get some check-ins. Who's out there tonight? I was doubling on some and coming in. AI6UJH. 6UJH, N6CMB. Go ahead.
Hey, Chris. This is Doug. Bay Point right now. Yeah, hobbies. I'm also a motorcyclist. I've got a BMW 1200 GSA, and
let me see if I can jump in on top of you now.
I'd like to mix a little bit of shooting, ham radio, and motorcycling. That's one of my goals this year, and maybe a little bit of pipe smoking too. Those are my main hobbies. Right now I'm just kind of out and about to see if our repeater friend is active, do a little scouting.
Well, that's pretty good. I was going to say you had a trifecta of hobbies coming together, but now you're going to put 4 together and just really show off. Yeah, I think, the destinations we go to riding a lot, at least up here, open up a lot of opportunities for transmitting, even if you just drag along a handheld. So that's something I'm enjoying. I can throw a handheld in the bag of my bike and get out and transmit pretty easily. So very cool. Thanks for sharing that. Who else we got out there tonight, and what's your hobby?
Evening, Chris on the net. This is Dan, Kilo Foxtrot 6, Hotel in Woodland.
Come back, Triple H. Lay it on us. What's got you interested nowadays?
Well, in my younger days, I did a lot of motorcycles and shooting and stuff like that, but with a bad back, most of the stuff that I do now is just ham. About the only other connection I have is when I'm able to, I ride bicycles, and we do a lot of the bicycling stuff for the Davis Double Century and other rides like that, where we work with the ham radio to help with traffic and emergencies and stuff like that. So that's about my only other connection. With all the smoke and everything, this is about it. Stuck in the house. KS688.
Yeah, it's one of the great things about ham radio, of course, is just about anybody can do it physically. It doesn't require necessarily anything in particular, and that's what opens it up to a lot of folks. And yeah, I think, bike riding, and I noticed that a lot of clubs get involved with helping out with communications for bike rides and big running races, marathons. That's pretty cool stuff. I don't know if anybody has any experience, they can chime in on that. And it crosses over with motorcycles again. I know that my chapter likes to participate in a couple of big marathon races each year, helping out with traffic control and that sort of thing, using the motorcycles to get around quick. So another good combination of hobbies. Anybody been involved in that sort of thing where your club goes out and assist an organization with their event communications? You bunch of slackers, you need to start volunteering for some stuff out there. All right, let's go to the next check-in. Who else do I have out there?
AN6, the VNQ in the mix.
Well, my pirate friend, where have you been hiding? It's been a while since we've chatted. How are you?
Yes, hello. Well, college has been punching me down, so that's really been the main culprit as to why I've disappeared. And then I can't even count the amount of jammers on 3.3 now, so I just kind of given up on that. So, really, ham radio is the only hobby that I have at the moment. But I might pick up a new one, because Dad's thinking about possibly in the near future starting a YouTube channel. So, I may end up being his videographer / editor for that. That'd be fun, but I also, in the mail, just got a brand new HP Pavilion laptop, so I could use that to help me edit and whatnot. So that should be quite an interesting thing, or interesting hobby to pick up on. So, for those wondering, it's going to be a channel based around Craftsman tool, where you can probably do reviews and stuff. So, that should be quite interesting if that ever even happens. So, other than that, in the mail tomorrow would be coming a brand new telescoping whip from Wolf River Coils, their Wonder Whip. 18 feet of stainless steel will be shooting up in the air and replacing my wimpy 8 feet of stainless steel. So, anyways, I'll send it back to you, Chris. This is KM6VNQ.
As usual, Brian's one of our active guys. Even though he says he's not, he's got a lot cooking, which is very cool. So first of all, Brian, I think you'd be awesome on the interwebs and on the YouTube. So I really hope you move ahead with that. And if any of us can help you with, some of your production or getting set up or mixing or how they're doing it, you got everybody here to help and promote that. And Wolf River Coils, those guys owe you some respect, man. You're buying up everything they got. They ought to send you a free antenna for the 6 you've already put up for them. We'd love to hear about it, though, here on the Anti-Net. Once you get it up and going, any chance we can count on you for a report out?
Yeah, sure. With the one that I have now, the stock CIA Mini, summertime I'll get around, I'll sit around for about an hour and a half and make maybe 10 contacts if I'm lucky. But recently I've made no more than 3 in a day, staying out for an hour and a half for 2 hours. So, but I haven't been active on HF because it's been really bad air quality over here. So, but I would be the one doing the producing and whatnot, because it would be my dad's channel reviewing some Craftsman stuff. So, anyway, I'll give it back to you.
I see. You're going to be behind the scenes. Well, if you ever think about getting in front of that camera, I think that's a great idea too. But be sure to tell us about your dad's channel. I'm a Craftsman Tools fan, so I'll be one to tune in. Thanks for that, Brian. It's great to hear from you. And one last thing, if we can hear, what's college like in COVID times?
Well, I've got 3 courses: statistics, English, and history. Everything's online. Only one class is doing lecture via Zoom, which is statistics, and the other 2 are just posting, well, history's posting little videos and slideshows, and you take notes and you answer like 10 questions. History is a breeze. English, on the other hand, you just get directions and you're on your own. So that's basically what it is right now, here in Woodland at least.
All right, Brian, we'll keep up the good work. I think it's you're on a great path, and looking forward to seeing all your success in the future for the hard work you're putting in. Is it just me, or does sometimes you feel like when you look at the radio when you're talking to somebody, it's like you're looking at them? Why do I find myself looking at the radio when I'm talking to Brian?
KN6DAL, it's just you, Chris.
I figured as much. N6CMB, Chris and Clayton. How about another check-in? Who's out there tonight?
KN6GZE.
Youth of the nation is represented. Look, we got all these young hams on our Anti-Net. What is happening, Ryan, down there in San Ramon, California? What are you up to? I know there's always a laundry list of ham activities going on at your place. Tell us all about it.
Well, I noticed the air quality was good this morning, so good to get the fresh air. I finally was able to go outside, and this hobby, it's kind of linked. It's not really kind of a hobby, but it's sort of one. It's called geocaching, and it's essentially fox hunting, except you find actual containers filled with little stuff, filled with like little items inside and a logbook and stuff, and you use your phone to find it or a GPS unit to find it.
Yeah, geocaching is awesome. I love doing that. So for those that haven't done it, you get these hints, and then you use your phone, you track down these little treasures. And then the other cool part is you can put geocaches out. So Ryan, have you put any caches out for anyone else and put one up?
Yeah, I put 3 out so far. 2 of them are micro-sized, and one of them's the big ammo can type.
Cool. So has anybody found any of your geocaches yet?
Yeah, I've been getting some people, but not as much as I used to on some of my caches up in Northern California. But they're still being found. Not very many finds, because nobody's really out anymore.
Yeah, well, that's kind of weird. If we can get the weather back, geocaching is a good way to get out there and not have to be too close to anybody, because you're usually out someplace sort of remote and hidden. And I might do a little of that here in the near future. Thanks for the reminder about a very cool little hobby. What else do you do, Ryan? So totally unrelated to ham. You got anything that the other hobbies that you're into?
Well, I mean, I like just playing around on the computer, doing that stuff. But nothing really much other than, the radio, the geocaching, and the going outside thing.
Yeah, well, for sure, being stuck in the house is no fun, and I'm sure you're happy the air condition is getting a little bit better for us. So, very cool. Thanks for checking in, Ryan. It's always good to hear from you, and I'm hoping we see you on Zoom later. A reminder to everybody out there, typically once we wrap up the on-air net, we'll post a link to Zoom and invite folks to come on into Zoom and continue talking ham for a little while, participate, be on the YouTube channel. Now, if you're a little shy, you don't have to have a video showing. It's quite all right, but just to have you there talking with us would be fantastic. All right, who's next? Anyone else out there looking to check in tonight?
Kilo India 6, India, Juliet, India.
N6CMB, I'm having a little bit of QSY going on with another net, so I'm going to go again to see if we had anyone checking in, and I might have missed it.
Kilo India 6, India, Juliet, India.
November 7, Yankee Mike Whiskey.
KN60AL, Chris, did you catch those two stations there?
N6CMB, probably going to turn it over to you. I am getting stronger on my receiver than I am. I'm probably going to have to with this. I'll hang and see if it, as it stands, I'm not able to get you guys another transmission.
Chris, go ahead and just turn your radio down and then unmute your Zoom, and I'll key you in through the repeater.
All right, let me see. I'm into Zoom now, guys. Yeah, unfortunately, the QSY for me tonight, or not the QSY, the interference is pretty heavy from the other repeater. Someone, it's like they boosted it up.
You're on. You're live.
All right, we're on the air then. Yep. Let's carry on then. So we're going to be looking for more check-ins before we do move on to the Zoom. So who else is out there tonight looking to check in? We are talking about hobbies, but remember, it's the anti-net, so feel free to chime in with whatever you got.
K6BXX, Chris. Yeah, I heard one guy, including he's my good friend Gary, North Hills, KI6IGI. He was trying to come in too, but yeah, hey Gary, KI6IGI, try again, KN6BXX. Thanks, Chris, Nick.
This is KI6IJI. You were looking for a check-in. I am ready.
Go ahead, IKI.
Thank you very much. I don't have capability of Zoom, but I just heard you say you wanted people to check in, like KN6BXX said I'm from North Hills, so I'm just zooming around the channels. Hope you have a nice evening, and I hope you have some more membership.
Hey, thanks for checking in. We really appreciate it. Always glad to have new folks and familiar faces. So appreciate the check-in. Anybody else looking to check in? Anyone new tonight that we haven't heard from before? I'm going to go ahead and hold off on the repeater for a minute. Let's see if we got anybody on digital modes. We usually need to give them a little extra window to key up. So anybody coming in on any of our digital modes tonight, let's see if we can't get you checking in now.
N7YMW from Lakeside.
YNW, go ahead.
N7 7YMW. I'm down here in Lakeside, California. I'm actually watching you on YouTube at the same time, checking in over All-Star Link node that I just built a couple weeks ago. So just playing with the hobby due to the being stuck inside, and have tons of other hobbies. Like I said in the channel, it's my wife would be happy if I only had one hobby.
So, what's your leading hobby outside of ham right now? Is it one that connects to ham radio, or is it something that's totally separate?
Well, do SCCA autocross, and I also do a lot of off-roading, a lot of desert stuff. So off-roading and desert stuff generally kind of connect to ham radio because everything's got a radio in it, just because I don't trust cell phones.
Excellent. So you're doing the autocross. What about any rallycross? With any rallycross stuff you're doing now?
We don't have rallycross, although we do have a road rally coming up down here in San Diego on the 26th, but they're doing it via an app. I guess, it's basically you load the app, it does GPS tracking so they can get your times and stuff. That way you don't really have to have any contact. And last weekend we went up to Chuckwalla in 100 and some degree weather and did track day for the SCCA down here. Sponsored a track day. That was a lot of fun. Got a little bit warm late in the afternoon.
Yeah, I'd imagine you can work through some tires on a hot day like that. It definitely burn them up pretty quick. I did note if y'all are bored and looking to go down a rabbit hole, if you jump on the YouTubes and hold on a sec, my dog. If you're looking to check out something kind of fun, the COVID virus has allowed these. One sec. Anyway, this is real life. You've probably seen the movie Cannonball. I'm going to get to the point here. Cannonball Express or Cannonball races. Guys actually do these cannonball races and race from coast to coast. And some of these guys figured out that if they did it during COVID, there would be no traffic. And they are crushing the coast to coast speed records because they're not having to put up with traffic. Now, of course, traffic's getting back to where it was, so the opportunities are less. But yeah, a little rabbit hole to go down on YouTube if you want. Check out real life cannonball stuff going on out there. Pretty interesting stuff. Who's next out there? Someone check in with us.
KS6EII with a question, sir.
Go ahead, EII.
Could you email me that Zoom link? And is it the same Zoom link every Wednesday?
This is Nick, KN60AL up here in Everett. We will post the Zoom link here in probably about, I think, 10 or 15 minutes on the YouTube channel. If you are watching via Northwest Ham Shack, we'll post that in the comments here in not too long.
And it is the same the link every week. All the changes is the password, so that's what we update each week as we do it. So if you have the old link, can we? The new password will be coming out in a few minutes here.
Okay, well, I'm not watching YouTube. I'm watching the road. I'm driving right now. So what's the YouTube channel?
The YouTube channel is Northwest. That's NORTHWEST Ham Shack. If you go to that, there's a live stream playing currently, and it'll the Zoom link will be in the comments there.
Roger, Roger. Appreciate it. KN6EII clear.
So that was KN6EII, if I had it right. Mike, any chance you could help him out by just doing an email over to him since you got a computer handy and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I got it. No problem. WG5EK.
Outstanding. Okay, we're going to go out once more for check-ins, see if we got anybody out there. If we don't, we're not going to force the issue, although I would like to check in with Nick and Mike on the air.
have a question.
Is it a good one? Because we usually kind of very restrictive for good questions only, Kevin.
It's probably not. The gentleman Cliff that just was on air, what's his call? Kilo Nancy 6 EII? Is that right?
Yeah, Cliff, if you could come back and clarify, we've got Kevin N6VLF and Chris N6CMB here. He had a question about your call.
Sir, it is Kilo Foxtrot 6, Echo India India. Copy?
You're on, Kevin.
Okay.
Did you get it?
Yeah, I got it. I just trying to. Am I going over the radio too?
Yes.
That's so cool. Thank you, Cliff. KF6EII. All right. Reason I did that is I was going to email you. I can't be around this weekend, but I know your repeater site is going to need most likely more than one trip. So, and then when you guys start doing the build back, I'm sure we'll extend the offer if we possibly can.
We appreciate it so much. I'll let the owner know and email me your name and your call sign and what we talked about so I can keep you guys straight. And as soon as I get home, I'll be checking my email. Should be home here in about 10 minutes. Appreciate the comeback. KF6EII mobile clear.
Thanks a lot. This is Nick, KN6DAL up here in Everett. I'll throw in my 2 cents on the hobby thing. So I wrote down a couple. I started out the first thing I ever purchased on my own was a motorcycle. I purchased an 06 Dyna Street Bob, and I've done a lot of different modifications and stuff to it, and I really enjoy riding when I have the opportunity. Sometimes that's tough with work and kids and things like that, but whenever I have a chance to go on a nice long ride, I really enjoy doing that. And so that's definitely not related to ham radio, and I haven't really found a way to incorporate that yet. I don't really have a big bagger or something that I could isolate a lot of wind noise, so I'm pretty much just kind of battling it out on the freeway. But I enjoy that, and then I also enjoy scuba diving. I got into that about 2 years ago, and I really like doing that. I haven't tried operating an amateur radio underwater because I don't feel like it would be very successful, so that would be unrelated. And then I also enjoy hiking, and I've definitely found ways to incorporate being outside and hiking into the amateur radio hobby, and that's with SOTA, which I'm getting involved in more and more up here. There's a pretty active group of individuals that kind of point you in the right direction and give you ideas on where to hike, and so that's been quite a bit of fun. And making long distance simplex contacts is just an exciting thing for me, and I think there's a lot of people that are part of the 2 meter crew that would tend to agree with that. So those are kind of my hobbies and a little bit of what I do outside of ham radio, but most of it is ham radio and hanging out with my kids. So with that, I will kick it back to you, Chris.
Thanks, Nick. Chris and Clayton, N6CMB. So with scuba diving, that's interesting. I know that when I'm riding, I actually kind of like the isolation. I don't necessarily want to talk to a lot of other folks, and I know that, but there is a lot of developments around bike-to-bike communications, Bluetooth, and being able to take phone calls in your helmet. To me, I just want to toss my phone in a ditch when I'm out riding. But what about with scuba diving? Is there some technology that's starting to come out to help you communicate underwater, or are you still kind of limited to hand signals and being a little isolated when you're down there?
Yeah, good question. I think there is communication availability, but it's kind of expensive because you have to use different type of full face regulators and things like that. Everything that I was taught and everything that I think like almost all of the diving community uses is in the form of hand signals, gestures, pointing, that kind of thing. And then there's dedicated hand signals for use in emergencies and stuff like that. But, that whole idea of riding and kind of being in your own head and focusing on the road, that definitely is similar in where you get underwater. At least for me, this is just my own experience, but you get underwater and you're breathing your own air in a contained system, and the noise just goes to nothing. All you can hear is kind of yourself, and it's very you're just focused on what you're doing, and it's very peaceful for me. There's a lot of stress that kind of goes into making sure that you're preparing, you have a plan, and you're doing everything the right way, and a lot of different safety bumpers that you stay well within the limits of. But as long as you're paying attention to that stuff and you're just kind of dedicated to the task at hand, and it definitely slows someone's mind like mine down, where I'm constantly going in 7 billion directions, whether it be at work or this hobby's been like the worst and the best for that, because I'm constantly learning something new. And so it's exciting, but it's not as calming as diving is. Diving gives you that like sense of just kind of focusing on one thing, slowing your mind down, letting it relax, and it's almost like you come up out of the water refreshed, kind of like you do on a real long ride. You get off your bike, you sit down, and you're like, wow, you just feel totally at peace. So that's been my experience, and that's why I enjoy doing it.
Very cool. All right. How about Mike? You got anything that you like doing outside of ham radio and in the Air Force?
So when I first moved to, hang on, let me mute that. My bad. When I first got to California, I picked up an old Zenith console. If you know what that is, it's got record player, it's got 8-track, radio, all that stuff. So I used that for a long time until I kind of wore it out, and I was just going to replace the turntable because it was pretty old, and I didn't order the right size. I ordered one that was way too big, so I ended up gutting, or actually just getting rid of the Zenith console as is, left it original. I sold it for the same price I paid for it, which was $40. It was pretty cheap. But I've just been into a lot of vinyl records since I've been here. There's a lot of places that, when things are actually open, you can go find a lot of cheap records. There's some record stores around the area, in Davis in particular. I like to go to it's called Armadillo Records. It's pretty good right there in pretty much in the downtown area. And you can get them at pawn shops, but some of those they kind of know what they have. So I like to go digging through places like Goodwill or some of the other like charity shops and stuff like that. But I've got a decent sized collection. I've inherited some from some family members as well. I think some of the oldest ones I have are from the turn of the century. Like the real thick, they're thick. I mean, they're a 1/4 inch thick, but they're not vinyl. They're I can't remember the name, what they call them. Someone probably help me out there, but it's something you'll never find, on Spotify or YouTube, because it just doesn't exist anywhere. It's in someone's closet or in a landfill somewhere. So that's something I really got into, and I've always been into, audio stuff. So whether it's radio or music, so that's pretty much where I'm at. WG5EEK.
Thanks, Mike. You and I are like brothers from another mother, because I'm all about the vinyl and tube amplifiers and all kinds of old school audio stuff. Speaking of old school, I doubt he has any other hobbies. He's just a crusty old ham. But we'll check in with N6 VLF to see if there's anything outside of ham radio that stimulates it.
Well, since I was a little kid, I've been playing with electronics. Remember I used to sit there and look at the magazines when I was like 11 or 12 going, man, I want that 50-in-1 kit, but with the little springs on it. And then I got the 50-in-1 kit. And then, of course, what did they do? They came out with the 100-in-1 kit, so it's got the other, the other stuff. So I really enjoyed that. And by the time I got into high school, I was really into audio. I wasn't so much into radio. I was really into audio. and I was mowing lawns at the time. I had a job at a maintenance rental company that rented houses and apartments. So I mowed the lawns. And does anybody remember Specific Stereo over in Concord area? Pacific Stereo, man, right there by there used to be we used to have these things called malls, okay, and you could go there and there's lots of stores in them. They had a thing called an anchor store, and an example would be like a Sears, to which those are going out too. Most of those are closed around here, and a J.C. Penney's. Well, and then right catty corner across the street was Pacific Stereo, and they sold Pioneer and several Pioneer, Sansu. I think it was Pioneer was their main brand. Plus they had their house brand Quadraflex and Techniques turntables. So by the time I was about 15, 16 years old, I started getting hooked on that stuff. So I bought a Pioneer SX780, and then I bought a Techniques turntable, the direct drive turntable, heavy bass turntable, and then I saved up and I bought a Micro Acoustics cartridge, baby. That's right. And then the cool one, not the Shure V5, which is very good, but I bought the Micro Acoustics cartridge, and then I got the little reservoir that has the fluid in it and the brush, so we could float the particles on the vinyl. Because that's right. Someone introduced me to Half Speed Masters. Yes, you could buy the album. You could buy whatever it is you wanted for about $7 or $8, maybe less. But no, I had to buy the Half Speed Master. So when Styx came out with their new album, it was $30 or $32. And then the George Benson's Breezin', that was recorded really well, and several other albums. So I was that dumb kid in high school that saved his money up, and I was buying half-speed masters and putting them on and putting the, I had what's called a poor man's audiophile system. And then I just kept playing with the audio stuff. Then I made audio my life, and I worked in it. But about the time I was 18, 19 years old, I started liking ham radio even more. I had my ham license when I was 14. I was WB6YXJ back when I was 14. And then I just kept playing with it, and I really, really liked radio. And now fast forward, I'm 39 years old, and I like radio a lot, and I get to play with it. And audio video's been my life, and radio. Been an AV guy by day and a radio guy at night, and it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun. So,
I think we can we double up when we're on the air like this, Nick, in 6CMB?
Yeah, or we can talk like we're all here. Yeah, you this is KN60AL. You are on
I like that. So, Kevin, if you're interested, and you should not be, I'll tell you right now. I belong to a club that lets me still to this day. We get together and we find out what master tape we want to go approach radio companies for or record companies for, and then see if we can't have it duplicated onto our reel-to-reel standard that we use. And if you can imagine in today's day what we spend on a single album, because there's a very small group of us that get these tapes done, but we get a dupe made right off the master for hundreds and hundreds and close to $1,000.
Isn't it crazy? And I had in my house in town, we had a. Is there such a thing as a modest flood in your home? That's what it was. A modest flood, because it didn't completely wreck the house. I
think a modest flood is when you open the shower curtain too soon before you shut the shower.
Oh,
that's a modest flood. Anything else is not.
This was a little more. I lost my turntable in the flood because it was sitting on the floor in my radio room. So I disassembled my my audio stuff. I set the turntable, and the turntable was underwater after it was over. So I didn't even try to fix it. But just recently, for those of you who know, you can put it in the comments if you like, I acquired a Pioneer SX1280.
Oh, I had one of those.
It's out in the shop, and I'm going to do a little bit of restoration to it. I still have my 780. My 780 uses the STK0050 modules, which I'm thinking about putting the discrete module replacement in it because those are a little bit better. I don't know why, but I think I might. And then the SX780, I want to just I'm gonna bring that, but I might put the capacitor kit in that. I haven't made up my mind yet. So that's a monster stereo. It's pretty cool. And I acquired a not quite as sought after, but I have the sound. I got a Sound Craftsman stereo power amp that needed repair with the cool analog meters with the little LED lights above it. It's pretty cool looking. I don't know. I kind of got out of the AV stuff, the audiophile stuff, because I sold my Nakamichi Dragon, and I sold my what was it? I don't remember now. Isn't that horrible? I'm not an audiophile anymore. I can't even remember what I had.
Yeah, but when you had it, it was something you really wanted.
It was expensive, and it was stupid. And I mean, when you got back in 1990, when you have a $1,000 to or $1,200 preamp, that's and all it did was have a bass treble and a source control, and that's it. It's just, and then you ran that into your Mark Levinston amplifier or whatever it is you turned you on that day. But I got rid of all that stuff, so I'm not that crazy into it. So I had fun with AV. I keep saying AV. That's my job. I had a lot of fun with it. But ham radio now is really kind of fun because it's crossed over. I get to play with the cool microphones, the mixers, the adapters to get the microphone into the radio.
You get to make me hold a momentary switch down for like 3 minutes straight.
Have you burnt that radio up yet? Is it? Hey, you know what we need to do? We need to get you and Jason both need a radioless node.
I know.
You do.
Because right now, so this is Nick KN6DAL for ID, and we got N6.
I'm not going to ID.
I'm IDing for you.
Thank you.
And N6CMB here, and Mike if he jumps in. So right now, the way that all of this is working is everything is hinging on the performance of a $19 Baofeng radio behind my green screen right now. So if it fails, everything fails, and we're putting it through its limits right now.
Is that what that glowing red spot is behind your side?
Is everything moving back
it's
there?
glowing.
So with that being said, I'm keying up everybody onto the repeater because there was some issues going on with Chris's radio, and so I'm actually controlling the key up from Washington. So it's kind of an intricate thing. And while we're on that note, I'll just say a big thanks to Kevin because he's been a huge supporter and helper of helping me and Jason and multiple other people get our shacks performing the way that they're performing. And then also Jason, who couldn't be with us tonight, but he's listening out there. Big thanks to him for all of the things that he's done because he's helped. We're hijacking his Zoom right now and utilizing that to film all or to get all of this live stream. So big thanks to you guys for all of that. And I'm going to let my finger off and let it drop and see if anybody else wants to drop in.
Ears are ringing.
You want to go, Chris?
Yeah, hey Nick, I thought I saw your executive video producer pop her head in there. Was that Molly that was, and now she's been replaced, obviously. But.
She was, yeah. Hey, Allie, come here. Allie, come here. Come here. Come say hi to the whole interweb. Come here.
Hi, Allie.
Say hi, Ham Radio World.
Hi, Ham Radio World.
We love a little third-party traffic. There's nothing wrong with that. I was hoping
right.
maybe we'd get Molly to tell us about her hobbies that she likes when she's not producing Northwest Ham Shack.
She was here. Do you want to go get your sister so she can say hi? All right, back to you, Chris.
All right. Well, I am going to get ready. I've got a couple of closing out items. We're hoping to get Molly on for a minute while we're still on the radio waves. Have we posted the Zoom link yet on the YouTubes?
No, I'll do it here in a second.
I think we're getting ready for that. I've just got a few things as we close out. So remember, anyone can join us in Zoom. You don't have to be on video, but you'd be on voice, and we'd love to hear from you. It's great to have new people to talk to. I am going to close tonight with a couple of trivia questions. So we are going back to interactive on the radio. I'll start with one now. If Molly comes, we'll get it in between. So first question for tonight is a tough one, I know. What does the A in AM and what does the F in FM stand for?
Always.
KM6GZE. The A in AM is amplitude, and the F in F.
I got the A in amplitude there, Ryan, but we had a little breakup on the F. Does someone want to give us what the F and FM stands for? Well, I thought this was an easy one. You know, I didn't think this was going to be
Frequency.
tough.
FM is frequency.
KM6FAK.
Oh, world famous FAK checking in with an answer. Thank you, young man, for making a special guest appearance. How are you?
Hey, doing good, everyone. You guys are sounding great. I've been handling the kids. The wife is out flying around with the Air Force Reserves tonight, so my hands are full. But I am keeping the little monsters alive and well. And I'll share my hobby real quick, getting back into four-wheeling and doing the Jeep thing. I did that pretty much all of my 20s, and then my 30s I changed diapers with no Jeep, and just getting back into it. So it's been really exciting building this thing out, and over the weekend I actually successfully hooked it up behind the RV and drug it all the way up to South Lake Tahoe and back. No accidents or crashes. A few technical problems, but nothing a good ham can't fix. All right, guys, I'll be back next week sitting in the seat, and thank you, Nick, for filling in. This is KM6FAK.
Yeah, that's what he thinks, huh, Nick?
Take it away, Chris.
All right, we're going to go with our last question, which is a little bit mathy or math-like. So we'll see. But come on, if you guys are taking your license, this should be really easy stuff. Electrical power can be measured in watts, and it can be calculated by what formula?
Somebody play the Jeopardy music, please.
Volts times amps. KMZE.
Nick, did you get it? Was that the correct answer from Ryan?
That was Ryan. I believe that was the correct answer.
Did he say
voltage
P
times
equals
amperage.
IE? Was that his answer for power equals?
I'm bad with the conversion numbers.
Amp
He said volts. Hold on. Let's go to the judges. What do you think?
Judges, Kevin, can you weigh in, please?
He said volts times amps, and we will accept that.
Ding, 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 ding. So the youngest operator on here answered both of the questions correctly.
Yeah. Well, can I make up a question real fast that's related to that?
Go for it there, Elder.
Okay. And Ryan, you can't answer this one because you already answered, 3 of them correctly, right? Or 2 out of 3.
2.
He answered 2 out of 3. So he now knows.
To be honest, I think he had FM correct, but
I think he did.
It broke up, and then Jason stomped all over him to answer it again.
Yeah,
I mean,
that Jason.
I don't know.
Just because he doesn't get a host tonight, he's stomping on Ryan.
He's got to get his licks in somewhere.
Man, so. He's just leave the young man alone. Okay, so we now know that voltage times current equals wattage. So if we have 1 watt, how many horsepower is equal to 1 watt? Because horsepower, wattage is in reference to horsepower. So we had to convert 1 watt to a horsepower. What is it?
All right, we still on, Nick?
No, I'm going to break the repeater and let somebody try to answer that question.
All right. I was going to give them a chance to calculate and think on it. No, they're going to.
It's pretty easy.
Let's see if they've got it. Give them a break.
Okay, let's go.
And there's always Google.
So we do have Bert jumped in and said pi r squared.
That's pi r squared. That's the area of a circle.
I'm just relaying the note.
So
750 watts.
That's a really smart answer, but it's the wrong.
Wrong question.
So we got Mark.
That was the answer to another question.
Yeah.
Mark said 750 watts equals 1 horsepower.
Well, can I say damn? He's damn close. 746.
It's up to you. I mean,
Yeah.
you're the president of the
He
VVR
was
club.
off
We're on
by-
the
I think
VVR
I gave him
repeater.
credit on
Yeah,
that.
that's close enough. 746.
746. All right. Mark takes it.
And,
Round it up or down a bit.
All right. I'm going to get ready then to go ahead and close out everything on the repeater here tonight. I will offer a little ham talk just before we finish it. The reason that I was having trouble is that where I live and the fact that I've got a halfway decent antenna up, I receive, unfortunately, two transmissions, and both of them are pretty darn strong into me. So my ears are a little too good, and I get that other net just about as strong as I get the VVR. So what's the answer to that? We've been chatting about it. What's a ham to do when you run into that situation? My first attempt will be I'll get a directional antenna up, and then I'll just face it right at the VVR, and that should cure my problem. That's one solution. What's another thing I could do to our esteemed Elmers out there?
Buy a crappier radio. I'm just.
Unfortunately, I did that. You know, I put the George Foreman grill in line, and it's really the antenna, right? I've got omnidirectional, I've got a vertical, and it's omnidirectional, and it's got a lot of, good height, and so I'm just picking up too much on that omnidirectional. If I switched my antenna to like a little mag mount or something, that might actually do me better. But
You
I
have an
haven't given that
RF
a try.
gain? Do you have an RF gain on your 2-meter radio? you have
Yes, I can mess with that here on this one, and that's why normally I've been able to get them. But tonight they're putting out a little over S9 for me. I got the
Whoa.
attenuator on.
You need a directional antenna and an attenuator.
Yeah, I've got an attenuator. That's what I need. Do a little directional antenna. That's the answer. So that's my ending for the ham tonight on the repeater. I'm going to go ahead and turn the VVR back to normal operation, and I hope a few of us can join us in the Zoom to continue the conversation. Thanks, everyone. 7-3.
7-3. All right, I'm gonna see if I can turn some knobs here and get these headphones off. I'm gonna turn down the repeater.
Your audio sounds splendid. You must have a really good professional sound engineer.
You know, I've managed to acquire this Elmer, and he is like the bee's knees of audio. I got really lucky with that.
Who else? Come on now.
I don't want to give him too big of a head because he really just
Jason's
runs with
not
it.
here, but who else always gets a chuckle when he's got like two microphones out and two people, and he says, Can you hear us? And only one's working, and it's like, hey, he's human too.
I've seen that guy online before.
Hey, Kevin.
Yeah.
You're Bay Area, right?
Fairfield, yeah. Well, sort of. We're in the. They're not sure if we're Bay Area or not. They can't make up their minds.
So I remember picking up my soldering iron it was like an old school electronics store in Berkeley in 1997 or late.
Al Lasher's.
This changed it.
Work.
I suppose somebody has to talk in order for that to work, but
Yeah, we have to talk.
You got it.
it'll take a
We'll
minute.
talk-
Okay.
You got it.
So
It's
I've
back.
It's back. What
Alright.
was it?
I've got setting on Discord isn't working, or I'm sorry, on OBS isn't working. So basically,
I suppose somebody has to talk in order for that.
yeah, there we go. Okay, if you could mute that. Yeah, so sorry everybody on YouTube there for a minute. I switched my screen and it, for some reason, I don't have the audio loop connected on one of my scenes. So I'll
Everyone on Zoom
Look into that.
mute it so we don't hear it because it'll be annoying.
yeah,
All
because we
right,
can't
dude.
tell. So we just went on.
Hey, Electronics Plus is the name of that joint over in San Rafael, and it's a pretty good electronics store. As far as I know, they're still in business.
Is it like a component store or a,
No, I mean it's old school resistors, caps, test equipment.
oh, it's called Electronics Plus, huh?
Electronics Plus. It's very. If let me see if I can share my screen, show you some pictures.
Those are component.
Hold on a sec. Speak view, share screen. The host has disabled screen sharing. Come on, host, get with the times.
Yeah. Turn the audio and screen sharing on. Come on.
Enable waiting room, lock meeting. Here, I can fix the whole problem. Watch my screen. Okay.
I was
All
watching
your-
on Zoom and I thought
All
there
your
was a problem
problems
with
can
my
be
own stuff.
referred. All your problems can be referred to that man right
There
there.
you go. It's a setting. You should be able to turn it on under.
Yeah, it's under there. Screen sharing. Got it. All right, there you go.
All right.
Well, he's setting that up. Hey, Mark, was it you that had the SB220 on the last
Yes.
Antinet? Okay, I have a question for you in a little bit after Chris has his share here.
So if you take a look at these photos, I think you get an idea what kind of place it is.
Yeah.
And they got a test bench to check stuff.
Yep. I mean, look at the back. Look at on the left. Look at that kind of storage they got in the back.
Where's it at?
definitely-
Does it have? What's the address to this place?
San Rafael. Let me go back to.
I'm gonna go there instead of Texas.
Yeah, it's Electronics Plus. Where's the details? There we are at the top. So it's over on 4th Street in San Rafael, 823 4th
That's
Street.
cool.
And I haven't been there in a few years, so I wasn't
Man.
sure if they're still open. But I've been there in the past when I needed, proper caps or something. When I was rebuilding a stereo or something, and
That's
one of
cool.
those old Pioneer 2 men and a small boy amplifiers. It takes 2 men and a small boy to move it.
Well, it's nice though. We used to have Metro Electronics in Sacramento, and they're gone. And Metro Electronics was really cool because they allowed modest commercial accounts, and we had one, and we just call them up, and it was so nice, man. They just put stuff in a box and sent it to us. It was great.
You can see their webpage looks like it's about 10 years old at best, right? And any place that's got an old website like that, they got good stuff on the shelves. So
My kind of website.
yeah, look at I'm already finding the relics and treasures, a 10-inch green monochrome CRT, for older Apple computers. Like this is my kind of place.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
started on a PS80 back in the late 70s as a kid. So,
That is cool.
hey, Kevin, we were talking about that 150 in 1 electronics kit.
Oh yeah, you still got one?
I do not. I had it growing up.
Yeah, I don't know.
And,
That is so cool. I gotta go to my mom's house. I'm wondering if it's like stuck up in the closet and she's got like a blanket on top of it or something because
yeah.
I haven't seen one of those. Mine was the I had the back when Radio Shack was Allied Electronics. They had the man. Mine was old. Mine was from like the early to mid '70s. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, the 150 came out, was like in 76 or 78.
Yeah, and I was like, man, I want the one. I don't think I ever had the 150.
I was born in 67, so I'd been about 10.
Yeah,
My dad got it for me for Christmas.
it was cool. So cool. And remember the Radio Shack, what are they called? P-box kits. Purport or a box, okay, and then you it had perf holes on the top of it. You put the components through the top, opened the bottom of it, and you twisted your leads and soldered them. Put the battery inside the box and closed it. It was called a a P box kit. It was just they had all
I don't
this stuff.
remember that.
Well,
My dad had it.
it was one. I mean, I remember the very first time I got to go to Radio Shack was probably about 1967 or 68, downtown Fairfield. Man, built a little amplifier with a
You got me by 2 years.
high impedance headphones and a CK722 transistor. That was so fun.
Trying to find a post I saw the other day. I'll post it in the chat.
Well, Radio Shack is somebody bought them. They're still in business, but most
Yeah,
of it,
ordering from it.
yeah, there's a bunch of franchise stores still.
Yeah, my first computer was my dad's, but I basically took it over. It was a Pierce 80 Model 1 with 4K. So.
Ooh, you had 4K, dude. You could put 4,000 characters in.
Yeah.
You could, and if you bought the upgrade module for memory, you could bounce. You could put your checkbook in there, maybe.
Oh yeah, it went from 4K to 16K to expansion interface to disk drive to.
I upgraded to the Tandy 1000, and then I bought the Zucker board to put the SCSI. Oh, it was like stupid. It was like $200 and something to upgrade to hard drive. And I was like, oh, but that was like 1987 or something. It was horrible.
That was like 89 or something like that. Because I had that same Tandy 1000.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, the 1000 came out in mid 80s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like the PC quote clone, but it wasn't quite a clone. So.
I still have one out there in the shop with a 5 1/4 inch floppy. Yeah, baby. Running Windows -3.
Yeah, that's how I got into Linux was Windows 3. So I picked some in the Navy. I was a what they call site tech or broadcast tech, and I had repaired this was like 1993-94. I'd gotten a broken 17-inch monitor. I'd repaired it, and then I was trying to get it to work with Windows because back then 17-inch monitor was huge, and the drivers kept crashing. I called Microsoft and Diamond. It was a Diamond VLB card, and I was giving up on it. And then I'm over. This is at NTC Great Lakes. I was over at the computer lab, and a guy named Bob Smiley's sitting there, and he's got like a Sun workstation. I'm just drooling over this thing, and I told him about it. He goes, "Here," and he hands me this box. It's like 23, 24 floppy, just 3.5-inch drives, and he just hands it to me. He goes, "Here, try this out. You'll like it." And it was Slackware, Linux. So that was 93 or 94 when I got that. And I spent about 2 weeks before I got my monitor working under Linux with X Windows and CDE.
Cool.
That Timex Sinclair was probably my first, like, sort of DIY electronic stuff, if you could even call it that, because I hated the membrane keyboard. So I bought, an aftermarket sort of dodgy keyboard, but I had to take, the computer out of the Timex Sinclair case and unplug it and plug it into the new keyboard and all of that stuff. And I forget how many plug-on modules I had on the back of that thing hanging off, but that was my first computer as well. And the first time I ripped open electronics and started making modifications.
I posted a link in the chat. Some guy resurrected his crystal set from back in the 60s.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
And I see that KF6EII made it on after we finally managed to get Cliff the right information to get him on Zoom. Thanks, Cliff, for showing up.
Yeah.
Hey, no problem. Appreciate being here.
Put my call in there. Hey, hang on.
Hey, Cliff. So the guys, it's a sad story about the repeater up there. They that's a financial hit too. Who's the repeater owner? Is it a club or is it an individual who took the hit on that?
It's an individual. If you look up the call sign WA6SEK, you'll come up with his name. First name's Corey.
That was up in Tracy.
Yeah, it's actually you get to it from Mines Road in Livermore, but it oversees Tracy from the south. It's on Mount Deluxe.
Okay.
Hey, excuse me for interrupting. Nick, did you put the link in Zoom?
Yes.
Nick, you're muted.
I put a link in Zoom for Analog Dial.
No, I posted the link on YouTube, but I'll post it again. And I just shared on YouTube the link that you posted, Mark. That's pretty cool.
No, I don't even see the.
Ooh.
All right, so this is the if you guys can see this is the repeater site that Cliff sent me pictures of. And he sent me 4 pictures. So I'll just go through them.
Oh wow! Where you guys got to
Yeah,
build
that's
your
actually that was actually a solar panel there that you saw.
Holy cow!
In the case where you saw the two U2 radios, one's the WA6SEK 2 meter, and the other one's the 70 centimeter that died.
Was this inside a shipping container or something?
Yeah, it's in a truck container. What used to be a truck container. Yeah, the ceiling's all caved in. You can see the fluorescent lights in there and everything. It was all run by solar. Corey's dad actually had a diesel generator up there, and he ran the diesel generator. He'd go up about every 2 weeks and take 200 gallons of diesel up and run it. Yeah, that's the solar panel right there. What's left of one. And it was on top of a military pickup kind of case that goes in the back of a pickup. But it just, yeah, there's the 2 radios. There's a 70 centimeter on the bottom and the 2 meter on top. That was the 2 meter radio on top was brand new.
So what? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So do you guys have a building to put up there yet?
We're going to just basically focus on cleanup at this point.
Okay.
We've got to cut all that stuff up and throw it into a bin, and then after that, we're going to probably get some kind of container to go in.
Have you got a list of? I'm gonna put together a wish list of what you guys need, like 50 feet, a half-inch hard line, and a couple connectors, and a partridge in a pear tree, that kind of thing.
I haven't talked to Corey at all, but I'll talk to him tomorrow and see what his plans are. I know he's just worried about cleanup right now because it's pretty hazardous up there. We're going to have to use, gloves and masks and everything up there because it's just a black sooty mess from what I understand.
Yeah. I would just ask, once you guys get a little further along, keep us informed because let's just say there's a few people that have stuff.
Okay. And we're taking donations also. You can get my address off of the internet and just address it to me with my call sign so I know it's a donation. And Corey would be greatly appreciated.
All right.
We should try to get something up on 2 Meter Crew with that.
What I was going to do is I'll talk to our board and see what we can do to just. I'll go to your call sign, and we'll find out where the donations are, and we'll find out if what our club can do for you, because we're legends in our zip code, so maybe we can help you.
Well, I mean, there's 300 guys out there on the 2 Meter Crew Facebook, you know, and you put it up there, and maybe you can get some help as well, because every little bit help. I know that, the Carla guys, their repeater setups might be a little more elaborate, but you know, it's in the area like 30 grand for one of their kind of standard setups they use. So I imagine your buddy's got some money tied into that thing.
Well, I appreciate it so much. Yeah, any help would be appreciated. I know he was looking at costs somewhere around $6,000 to $8,000. We do have a 90-foot tower up there, and I think we're going to have to re-guy it. I think the guy wires are done. We get a good wind up there in the next, the next 2 or 3 weeks, and it might take the tower down, but the tower is still standing. So.
Wow. That's too bad. We got lucky with our stuff. I'm sorry, I'm doing 2 things at once here, trying to help somebody out to join the Zoom here. Apparently, we've got a couple people are asking password. They got the link, and the link's asking for the password.
Yeah, I posted in the chat. It's NWHS, Northwest Ham Shack.
All lowercase.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
But most people don't have to actually input the password. That link should take you right to the meeting and request. And I'm watching the waiting room, so as soon as somebody clicks in, I'm letting them in.
Question?
Yeah, Michael.
Hey, wait a minute, Michael. You know this is not a net, so you're gonna have to start again and butt in, and none of that formal question stuff.
Well, maybe I'm just being a gentleman. Maybe I'm so fashionable.
Yeah, no hand raising.
Hey, question there, Cliff. What's the call sign of your repeater that's the damage to Tracy?
It's the Whiskey Alpha 6 Sierra Echo Kilo.
WA6SEQ. Okay, sounds good. Okay, well.
K for kilo is the final.
I'm sorry, WA6SE.
K
or Q?
Kilo.
Okay,
K.
got it. Okay, thanks. Okay, thank you. I just made a note of it. All right.
It was, it was 145210, but it's not anymore right now.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks. Is it not that? Is it on? It's not on Oso. It's a different mountain on that range.
It's on Mount Deluxe, which is pretty much directly southeast of Tracy.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yapper, I don't know if there's any other motorcycle riders out there that get out that way. You might be familiar with it if you've been out there. There's a restaurant bar called The Junction, which is out in the middle of nowhere out there, and they managed to survive the fire. That was a relief for a lot of folks. Same fire they went through, and I think got this repeater.
Yep.
Thanks.
Hey guys, I'm gonna bug out here. I've got to do some laundry, so I got to put the phone down. So you guys have a good day, and if you need any help, and you can give us.
Hey, thanks for chiming in and speaking up, because it gives us a chance to help if we can. We'll see what we can do.
Thanks, Cliff.
Take care.
Okay,
All right, man. Nice to see you.
Hey, we got VLF squared again going on here, don't we? Double very low frequency.
Man, somebody's living wrong. I mean, right?
I'm looking at
Any exciting calls tonight?
Not today. Nothing too exciting. It's been busy day with training and things like that, but nothing crazy on the 911 side as of yet. We still got several more hours to go though, so we'll see.
How much flooding are you hearing about down south? Is any of that storm starting to impact Texas, or is it more over on the Mississippi side in that direction?
No, I don't think there's a whole lot going on down in South Texas. I think it's more over there in the Mississippi, Florida, Alabama region there.
Look like they might get some epic rain by the looks of things.
Yeah, I have a buddy of mine who works in Escambia County in Pensacola, and they've got the storm's passed, but they've got a good amount of flooding there. So.
Hey Jeff, will we be able to log in here next week and at your house?
Yeah, I'll have to get a camera.
Oh.
Otherwise, we'll have to share the iPhone. That's the only thing I've got.
Oh, all right. Well, we need to get a camera order, dude. You know, gotta get your priorities straight.
Yeah, I know it.
Good luck finding a webcam right now.
I found one this weekend.
Or did you? I was looking for them, and the prices have just like gone completely disproportionately high for their quality level. Like, I mean, the cheapest of the cheap are like $50, $60, $70, and they're what used to be like 15 or 20 to order. You know, maybe there's something different now, but they just seem like way outpriced because everybody needs one right now.
Yeah, so guys at work have been using the Sony, like the alpha cameras, like the 6000s or 6400s. I work for Sony, so we get the cameras fairly cheap. But the guys at work, you know, they couldn't find webcams, so they were like pulling out their, you know, cameras that they bought over the years and were hooking those up. But I found a Logitech 920 this weekend, new in box, local, that a guy was flipping, and I ended up paying like $100 for it, and that's normally like a camera. So I felt bad I didn't get raped on it completely, but it is what it is.
Sony cameras are those are HDMI out though, right?
Depends on the model.
Because I've been using, like what I'm using right this second, everything I have is HDMI, and I'm using a actually I had one sitting right here, and I don't know where it's lost in all the garbage. I used I can't even say the name. Oh, here it is, Elgato, or it's a HDMI to USB 3 adapt video capture card. Elgato, yeah. Thank you. And that thing works great. I go HDMI, I go mini HDMI off my camera into that, and then that goes in USB 3. But that's what I use when I'm not using this. Right now, I'm using my my Roland, my VR 4 HD. That's a mixer scaler. But for if you want something for like $69, you get that capture card. Man, those things work great.
Do I need a capture card if the camera's already coming into the computer?
Well, to get the camera into the computer, you either got to go in USB or HDMI.
Never mind. I'm thinking, I might need to do that because I've helped a bunch of guys online in Discord and stuff get their FP8 up and running with their 7300. Mm-hmm. And then last night I moved some stuff around and the serial port had changed. So I kind of got frustrated. So I finally just went in there and updated the UDEV rules so that if it sees my radio, it gives it a sim link to whatever port it assigns it to. That way, rig control and everything else, I can just point at the sim link. So,
in other words, you're able to tell your computer what to look at instead of it jumping around.
Yeah. So
it by itself. Yeah.
When you plug in a USB device, there's all sorts of data, that comes across that tells you everything about that, what you just plugged in, like a vendor ID, device ID, and in the case of the ICOM, you can pull the serial number off of it. So basically, I said, if it's this serial number, make it /dev/IC7300. Now, I don't care where you put it, but then I just went back and changed all my configs to point at that, and it seemed to work. But I was going to maybe do a video up on how to set one of these things up. I need to do that. I've had a YouTube channel for like 10 plus years, but I never really. It was like car videos or stuff on the Jeep or stuff like that, and it was just.
Hey, put together a video. We'll put you on Ham Radio TV.
I've already got. Like I said, I've got like 500 some subscribers. I don't even know how I managed that because I don't advertise it or anything. It was just
people like your content.
Here's how to change the ball joints on a Jeep. Here's how a Honda automatic transmission works, stuff like that. So the Honda automatic transmission's got like 200 and some thousand views. I'm just like, wow. You know, and it was stuff I just did in my garage. I was just like, well, here's how the transmission works. This is not even a good video. It's just me with a phone camera. Just going.
So you guys think, we're always looking for content. You guys think it'd be interesting to okay, so Mark can do some of his stuff, and maybe I'll take the capture card, because I got the Elgato, and I also have the big one here, and I also have my brain's going to the Black Magic. I have a Black Magic. It goes into a PCI slot, plugs it back to the computer.
I've heard of those.
The Black Magic card, I like it. It has a HDMI, and it also has an HD SDI. The HD SDI it accepts 2 channels of embedded audio, and hey, it's Don KM6INR. Hold on a second.
There's a couple people we haven't heard from here. We've got Rob N6RJM, and we've got Brian. Either of you guys want to chime in and say hi?
Just saying hello. Guess I should subscribe to this XSplit. I don't remember what it was. Hello all.
Hi there.
I don't got too much. I just barely finished my English homework a few minutes ago. Or not English, history. And I thought I had more than what I thought, but it turns out I'm free for tonight, so I think the camera should look different. Granted, I'm on the new laptop now.
What's crooked? Is your house crooked or is your camera crooked?
It's my camera. So my desk, I have my dad's old art desk from when he went to Chico years ago, and I have it sitting slanted somewhat, so it's at an awkward angle. That's why I'm somewhat.
It's all right.
Yeah.
I do a lot of architectural photography, though. Whenever I see vertical lines that aren't vertical, it drives me a little crazy, a little nutty, a little OCD.
Were you there? Were you here? Were you on, Chris, when Rob came in upside down? He couldn't figure out how to flip it right side up.
I don't think he has yet. That's why he doesn't come back and join us.
That was the greatest. I loved it. I thought it was awesome.
Upside down.
I'm thinking I might toss my old laptop into my go bag with my portable kit.
Yeah, download some apps.
I don't know how I'm going to connect to internet, though. That's going to be interesting to kind of figure out. Although I could install that.
You can hotspot through your phone,
and you can do FT8 without internet access too.
I could do that. I have yet to play with FT8 actually.
It's kind of its own. Like for me, FT8 is fun to do occasionally, especially after I've modified an antenna, because then you can really see kind of what the difference is. But it's amazing how far your signal reaches under the right conditions. Like I've literally made contacts with like just wild countries completely opposite of where I live, like Romania and stuff. And I mean, I'm in Western Washington, and that's like halfway around the world. It's crazy how far your signal propagates.
And that was before you got an amplifier.
That's no power. Yeah, I mean, that's 100 watts. That's barefoot. And I'm just running resonant 3-band dipole, fan dipole, and nothing spectacular. But
I delivered Nick his ham man card this weekend.
Oh, it is so sweet.
HF amplifier.
I was so excited when I went to try to put it on my desk, and it didn't even fit. And I was like, yes, this is huge. But I found a really cool spot for it. And so I actually, it's funny that you say that, because I'm waiting. So I ordered the soft key from Harbach. And then we had talked about the capacitor kit, and we'll talk about that more. But the soft key, it hasn't arrived yet, and then the interface cable hasn't arrived yet. But I did also order one of those relays that Mark had suggested, and you posted a picture link to last week.
Yeah.
And I've got those relays, and I'm wondering if I can use one of those until I get the Harbach kit, if I should just wait. If those don't really work super effectively, I'd rather just do it once. But if it's something where it's real easy to hook up, I could just throw it in and kick this amp on, because my antenna's pretty much ready to rock.
Yeah, no, the relay should just work. It if you look at the line, you basically got the little RTA jack on the back.
Yeah.
And that's just turned over to the coil of the relay, if I remember right. So you could just put that, basically you're just using that little board to isolate it.
But I guess my question is, where am I actually running 12 volt DC power to this board, to this little mini board?
I'd have to look at the schematic. No, you'd be powering it from, I want to say you'd be powering it from the I'd have to look.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing. I looked online and found no support on anything for that amplifier other than the Harbach kit. And so that's the reason why I ordered it, because there's so many people that have installed that have posted really good quality videos of it. And then there's a pretty good support from them, from the website itself, and the instructions that go with it on how to properly install it in the amp. I've only got 2 of these other little cheap relays that I'm sure I could figure out how to use for something else, but installing it into this amp, because the amp is completely foreign to me. Like I haven't really dove into taking anything that old apart before, so I'd rather just do it with crystal clear instructions.
You don't have to take it apart to do that use those relays you have. That, like Mark was saying, on the back, it's got the RCA type plug, right?
Right.
So if you just get a dumb old, and I just happen to have a dumb old RCA plug right here, red and the white one.
Right. I have a million of those.
Okay, so plug it into the RCA plug, to the TR relay plug, and the tip. If you take the tip and just touch it to the chassis and ground it, it puts it in transmit mode. So now what you would do is you would take the RCA plug and take the tip and the ground off the amplifier and go to the contact closure that's normally open on that relay. Okay, so when the relay closes, it closes and keys the amplifier. Okay, the coil on that relay is most likely 12 volts, right?
The heat kit's going to be 120.
No, guys. Let's back up.
The relay on the board, on the mini board.
Relay, the coil on that little relay, that it's 12 volts, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so your HF radio, your 991, can handle a low current 12 volt current going through it.
Right.
So you take the power supply that feeds that coil in the relay, which is a couple of milliamps, and you run that through the TR switch on your 991. So when you push the button on your 991, it puts power to that relay, and then the output of the relay, the 2 dry contacts have nothing to do with the 991, short out the 120 volts to ground on the Heath kit.
Okay.
What it is, it's isolating it. Okay? And that's what the Harbach does. The Harbach will be, it might be a FET, I don't remember, but it's a FET.
Harbach kit here.
Yeah, so it's different, but this is the easy, cheap, and dirty way. I'll draw it and email it to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the dry contacts just are normally open, and when you energize the relay, they close, and when they close, that's shorting out that 120 volts to ground. Just like if you took the tip of this, plugged it in, and shorted to the chassis, it's just a floating 120 some odd volts, and the relay just shorts it to ground. The coil side of the relay is 12 volts, very, very, very low current. That goes in series. Your 991 goes in series with that. The ground side of the coil, if there is no ground side, but one side goes to the ground connection on your 991. The other side goes to a very low current 12 volt source, and then the other side of that goes to the coil. So the coil's sitting there doing nothing until you push the button on your 991, and all that's inside that 991 is a really, well, it could be open collector. I don't even know what it is, but in my I ICOMs and stuff, there's these low current read relays. So, and look under your specs. It'll tell you what that is on the 991, and it'll tell you it'll tell you how much current it can handle safely.
I have that saved. I know exactly how much, and I'll text that to you so that I understand.
It's too much, but you know the best way is to install that Harbach. That thing, anything will trigger. That thing will work with anything.
Okay.
It gets even better when there's like W6JY or W7JY makes a QSK kit for those, and then you replace the loud relay in there with a vacuum relay, and it gives you like something like a 3 millisecond keying time or something like that. Also, when you do that, there's some settings in the radio that you want it to. You can set up a delay. I know in the ICOM it's got it, but you want to set up a delay. So when you key the button, when you push to talk, there's like a 25 millisecond or something delay to give the relay in the amp time to close the contact.
Yeah, there's a setting for that in there. I've seen it somewhere.
Yeah, so because you don't want to be applying RF and then close the contact while you're putting 100 watts into that relay. So. Or however much power you're going to put in. I suspect you're probably going to give her all she's got, since that's the little lamp.
Yeah, I'm running it hot. No, I don't think I need to. I mean, I'm not a big power chaser, to be honest with you. This is a really cool gift from a friend that is going to allow me to just make more consistent contacts down into the Bay Area, basically, because right now I struggle. If band conditions are really good, I seem to do okay. I have a really wonky setup at my house because of the way I have to install my antennas to make them fit on the property, and then not be super visible. That it's just not really getting me down there effectively. And sometimes it works. Like the other day I had a conversation with a ham operator that we know in Auburn, California, and we were like, no problem. Great conversation. We could talk back and forth, but most days it's like I'm barely breaking in. They know it's me. They say hi, and then I can't keep going. But I get openings into all kinds of different states in in the eastern side of the country, and I'm not having problems there. But going down south, for whatever reason, I'm struggling.
Yeah,
did you fix your? I can't even speak. I got to go to her in a minute. Is your antenna system working okay now, Nick?
Yeah, everything's good. Everything's good.
You running just cycles?
I'm just running resonant. So I ended up taking the 75 ohm cable off because for whatever reason I could not get. I tried isolating. I was having problems with 2 meters, and I couldn't get. Or I'm sorry, with 20 meters, and I could not get it to tune. So I tested the RG8X again, and it's although it ripples, it's not RG8X. You're absolutely right, Kevin. Is not a perfect. It's not a perfect cable by any stretch of the imagination. But I built a much better 1-to-1 choke balun, and I installed that at the feed point of the antenna. And then ran the RG8X back up, and it seems to be working really well. I've got SWR acceptable across all 3 bands. I'm just 80, 40, and 20, and then
cool.
80 is really good, and 40 is just dead on. Like I'm like 1.05 right in the middle of the band. I mean, it's crazy good. So
cool. I'm surprised that piece of cable it was good on 80 and 40, but never on 20, huh?
Never could get, no matter what I did, and I just couldn't get it to perform. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull it back out and remeasure it, and then I'm just gonna start from scratch with no.
We might have been asking it to do 1 band too many because you get it right on 40, and it be on that part of 40, and it'll behave on 80. Okay,
right.
And then we're asking it to behave on there because we're trying to get that 75 ohm cable to act like a half wavelength connection or be transparent on 3 bands, not just 2.
Right.
It's super easy on one.
Right.
Pretty easy on two.
And you're absolutely
Not
right.
that it's more difficult on three.
And it's cut for 70 based on the measurements, because I did the math backwards, and it's cut for 70. Or it's cut for 40. I'm sorry, and so it's perfect on 40. It's very
on the low end of it should be like 40 is probably dead on 7200.
Right.
I would imagine. So whatever half of 7200 is, I don't know because I'm not that smart.
But your
that's
phone is
3600. So they're somewhere around 3600. So 7200, that puts you at 14.4. So 14.4 is actually outside, just outside the
too high.
The 20 meter band.
Right. And then the antenna that I'm cutting, the antenna that I'm trying to make resonant, is a super thin piece of wire with no bandwidth. So it doesn't help. Like,
what was the center frequency of that?
Of what?
Of the 20 meter band you're going for? What, like 14.250 or something?
Yeah, 14.225, I think it was.
See, that was see, if you had cut it for went higher, we were asking to do too much.
Right.
So what's on 80? It's probably like around 1.4, 1.5, 1.6, right around in there.
Right.
That's totally normal. We just tried to get that. What we're doing, guys, we took a piece of free RG11, which is full size. It's like RG8, like big coax. Yep. And we cut it at a half wavelength multiple for 80, 40, and 20. But the 20, it just missed it by this much. And when you use the 75 ohm cable, you're looking at on the analyzer, you're looking at the humps going and the dips. It's going not good, really good, not good. Well, on 40 and 80, 40 it was right on the groove. It was perfect. And then 80 it was just a little bit off, so no big deal. And we were just too far off on 20. That's what it was.
Yeah, and I unfortunately don't have the bandwidth to really move. Like, so, if I had a bigger gauge piece of wire up there, I could probably fudge it and have it perfect, a little bit higher, but still catch part of the band. I can't do that with that. I'm running, I think it's 22 gauge.
What you ought to do
magnet wire
is just experiment if you ever get the time. Put the other cable back on, use it for 40 and 80, and then move your 20 meters
to
away
a completely
from the
different
stuff,
antenna. Yeah,
and just run that RG8X out to it.
How high up is your? I'm guessing it's horizontal dipole. How high up is it?
Not very high. Not as high as it's supposed to be. I'm at my roof gable, so I'm at like maybe 20 feet.
Yeah. Okay. So I went there. I had was it Alpha Delta, that one of their fan dipoles.
Yeah.
Same thing. I put it at the peak of the house, and it was, it really sucked. And I ended up getting that DX Commander, which sits in the corner of it sits in the side yard, takes up about 10 square feet of ground, and man, night and day, I get out now.
And so you're just running radials all through the whole yard?
No, the radios aren't even that long. The radios are only like 8 feet long.
Oh, I thought they were like
about 50 of them.
Is the DX Commander that you're using 80 meter as well?
No, it does not do 80, but they do have what they call the guys in New Zealand, Rolly, has come up with a quote Rolly coil, which he puts on there. Just a base loaded coil, and it'll do 80 with that.
Just to lower the loss, yeah.
Yeah, you unhook the 40 millimeter element, you hook it to the coil, and bam, you're on 80.
Right.
So, because 80 is the only band I don't get, but man, those things are awesome. And I've got the light up right now. I've got a full size one that I received. I just got to go out and cut element for it. And
I got to see a full sized one when Chris came up and visited. That was pretty cool to see. Those antenna masts are built fairly well for their weight and everything. They're nice.
Did you have which one? Did you have the Expedition or the what they call the Classic?
whatever the best one is what I would guess he has. Chime in, Chris.
I totally missed the question.
We were talking about the DX Commander that you have. Is it the Expedition or is it the full-size one?
Oh, I got the full size. Yeah, not his. I know he's coming out with some crazy gargantuan thing. I don't think he's been. What's he calling it?
The Nebula.
Yeah, I don't have that one, but I had the
tall.
Yeah, the big Expedition I had. So it's what are you asking? How tall it is? I'm not even sure up top.
The Nebula is 59 feet. The 10-meter pole's, I think, 33?
Yeah, I think that's right.
But there's two versions of the 10-meter. There's one that packed down. It's got more sections and it's a little fatter and it's shorter sections, so that you can pack it. But that one, when I ordered mine, he said, if you're going to leave it up for semi-permanent, get the Classic, which has got fewer sections, but they're thicker.
Yeah, I got the Classic. It's a little bit longer. It's a little too long for like packing, really. I mean, it wouldn't be bad for a short hike. You could strap it like on the outside of the bag, but you wouldn't want to carry it too far.
But I went from a fan pole to that, and night and day. I mean, people I couldn't hear before could hear me. So,
the thing that shocked me was a little bit of a last minute Charlie on this. Did it on field day. Kevin was there. I showed up. I hadn't done any pre-construction. And what does it say? Give yourself 2 days to put it together, right? And I'm putting it together the night before field day, in the dark with a flashlight, cutting the wires to length. I'm figuring like my numbers are going to be all over, and a little bit of luck. I just nailed them. They were all like really close when I tuned up in the morning. It was really great. That thing, it's a solid little unit. And once you've done the initial build out, and if you carefully kind of put it away, it's super easy to set up if you're on the move, and not bad for in your yard. For a regular use.
Yeah, you need these to pack it out, right?
Yep.
The cable winders. So.
Yep. Any of those kite winding, you can use kite winders, or there's a couple of different, sort of cheap options, but something to wind up all the wires to keep them neat and clean when you put that thing away.
3D printer project.
Jeff, every time I look over at you, I think that you've got a picture up. Because you're sitting so perfectly still. And then every time I look back over, you've got this new little trinket in front of you. So, like, you had a radio at first, now you're playing with a fire hose connector or something. And then every time I know there's life there because I see it spin. But you're, like, sitting there perfectly still. And I'm like, is that a picture or is he actually there?
This is my experiment. So...
That's the inch and a half.
What are you building? Don't keep us in suspense.
What is it?
Oh no, this is a smoothbore nozzle. I'm breaking a trend here, trying to go back old school, but I got to get all these guys to understand the math behind everything and why. So I'm up here working on a bunch of formula, a pump chart.
What is?
So what are they? Are they worried that's not going to flow enough water?
No, it's not that.
We'll find out whether or not Jeff can hang out.
Yes, stand by for tones.
W6V. No, so it's repeater. So like if you look at pictures back in the old days, they use hose goes in here. Water comes out here, and it's just a straight orifice, and there's no fog tip to change the pattern or anything, so it's just a solid stream of water. But anyway, they run at a lower pressure, so they run at when you pump them at 50 psi nozzle pressure. When the new fog stuff came out, they were made for 75 or 100, and they have different selectable. Hold on a second. Different selectable gallonage nozzles or automatic. Right now we use a selectable gallonage nozzle, which means that it's a fixed flow. Which these are a fixed flow too, but they're pumped at a higher nozzle pressure. Now they flow the same amount of water, but the difference is with a lower nozzle pressure, less nozzle reaction. So it's the the less amount of force that's pushing back. So anyway, it was one of those things where these were like the nozzle back in the day, and then the fog stuff came along, and then everybody switched to it. And so I'm trying to get people to go back to this and get this to be the standard again. And not just because it's, old school and cool. There's actually science and physics behind it is why we want to do it. Plus it's low pressure, high volume. So what this does is it affords us, in this day and age, they ask a lot of fire departments to do more with less as far as like staffing. So a lot of times when we put the initial line in place, we don't have an abundant amount of people to do it. So a lot of times, like on my crew, we run a 3-man engine. So I've got a driver outside that's pumping this thing. I've got a guy on the knob, and then I'm in there with the tick pulling, sealing, or whatever. So we got to get it to where people can manage it by themselves. And with some of the newer nozzles that are out now, a lot of the way that they're being pumped is that some of it's just unmanageable for people. But in order for me to go back, I've got to get things lined out and get the sheets right and get people to understand, hey, this is actually going to give you more water, more maneuverability. It's actually less work, to put it in service. But along with that, you got to have a different type of hose. Your hose construction makes a difference, so it doesn't kink as bad. When you run a lower pressure in the hose, you got to have a stiffer wall hose versus with some of these other nozzles that we use now, you can actually you run a higher nozzle pressure, and the hose wall doesn't have to be as stiff and things like that. So it's actually a whole package deal. So I'm making small waves. So I bought another. What's that?
Is that an aluminum nozzle, or is that? It looks pretty light.
Yeah, I mean it's not heavy. So
ours are all brass.
No, these are not. These are not brass. These are aluminum. So, or not. Yeah, I think they're aluminum. But they're not bad. I don't have sitting here.
Yeah, Mark, you're talking about like the U.S. Coast Guard approved the 2.5-inch dual nozzle with the straight and the foam, or straight and the fog built in.
But yeah, most of our hoses on the ship were 1.5 inch, except for we'd have the supply 2.5, and that would have like a tri-gate on it. You could run that down. But
yeah, the old brass dual gates were, you can get them 1.5 inch, 2.5, but they're, same thing where you're two position and one's going through the straight nozzle, and then you had the little brass drop off for the fog applicator, and you could change that.
Yeah.
For fog patterns.
What we're using now was
that's huge.
Yeah, so this is there's a bunch of different. This is real off subject from ham radio, by the way, guys.
Oh no, it's not, because see, you can look at it like this. The pressure on the is the voltage, okay? The pressure
volume
water
is the
voltage, and then the current, is how much, okay? The volume. Yeah, voltage is similar to pressure, and volume is similar to current. And wattage, voltage times current is wattage, is how much fire it puts out.
That's right. The valve in there, it's like a resistor.
There you go.
I have a buddy who's I'm retired Navy. He's also retired Navy. He's a firefighter in New Mexico, and he sells that equipment now because he got fed up with not being able to get his tanks and stuff for their local fire department service. So he went and bought a rig, the hydrostat him, and it's turned into a multi-million-dollar business for him because he was all upset at the supply for the fire department. So he travels all over New Mexico now.
Well, keep fighting the good fight, Jeff. We had the similar inroads in industry with we tried to get from we had steel cables basically to tie ships up forever, and guys, one, when they break, they tend to kill people really fast, and number two, they're really not much fun to move around for human beings. And over the years, we've been able to move the industry now to like synthetic ropes, much lighter, much easier to move around, and just as strong and just as good, in all aspects for the use. So someone's got to be the guy to convince people to use it. It's just got to be you.
Yeah, it's actually been a fun little project. I'm I don't know, I'm a nerd when it comes to water and hose, and I enjoy it. But
you were born of nerd stock, so we understand.
Yeah. You look at the garbage of information that comes out of his mouth. I can do the same thing when it comes to water and stuff. We get to talking about stuff, and I just get this, sometimes I got to catch myself and back up a little bit with people, because I just enjoy it. But which is probably why that I was put in charge of this project by the fire chief. So, but I like it. It's fun, and I think we're heading in the right direction with it. So yeah, I have a collection of nozzles, but so it's fun because you get to go back and get to do some new school stuff, and but at the same time you're kind of going back in history to the old 7/8 America tip right here, which is pretty cool. So,
I think I have a question. Did they make a left-handed version of that?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, very good. Just want to make sure.
Sure do. So we got some other stuff. I'm getting that done, and I'm working on some high-rise stuff now. We're converting over, doing some different hose stuff. We went up to the 7-story tower, which we went up and down 8 times in about 4 hours the other night. That was fun.
That's fun training.
And experimenting with some different hose loads and things like that, and trying to get stuff dialed in and just get things working like a smooth old machine. So we've got a lot of new people here, and some that have some backgrounds in other places, some that don't. And so we're just trying to wade through and get everybody trained up, and at the same time take a look at some of the stuff we've been doing for years and maybe tweak a little bit. So
sweet.
Cool stuff. Hey Jeff, you stay safe. I'm going to sneak out, guys. I got to be in virtual Europe at 4 a.m. tomorrow.
All right, Chris.
Thanks everybody for a fun night.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Chris. Have a good night.
See you, Chris.
Okay, we'll see you.
See you later, Chris. Bye. Brian, you going too?
I think we'll say our last goodbyes. Fred, you got something to add, buddy?
No, I'm just hanging out.
No luck on the ISS tonight, huh?
Yeah, because everybody's using like mobile rigs, and it's too much power, and I'm just hearing them on simplex.
Yeah.
And I don't know about the frequencies. I don't know. All the other satellites are easier to work, I think.
Yeah. Well, I think also it's really popular right now because they just got it set up.
Need more power, Fred?
No, need less power. Everybody needs to use less power.
No, that's not what I'm asking. The other guys, unless I misunderstood you, are using more energy and making it harder for you to make contact?
No, I'm
on
my uplink radio, all I hear is them on simplex.
Okay. But are they
so
hearing
they're
you?
Using, yeah.
Are they local?
I don't know how local they are. They can hear me, but I hear all of them. I hear local guys, and I hear people farther away.
I guess I misunderstood. I thought you said you couldn't get a turn with the satellite for some reason.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I programmed it up because we got like a 6-minute window tomorrow night. I was going to try it. And I found out.
You'd be better off to trying, AO92 or AO91.
So it'd be bad form for me to just nail it with 100 watts and see what happens.
Well, I was going to I thought Fred needed an amp, and I got one that'll give me about 100 and something. He could win.
Winning's everything.
I never use it. Hey guys, I'm going to jet. Okay.
All right, Kevin. Have a good night. Thank you.
Hey, it was really
fun.
Kevin. Thanks you guys for letting me hang out with you.
Yeah, I think we're gonna call it. Anybody have any last words?
I was just gonna say on the cheaper radios won't let you save the split to memory like the better radios will when you're trying to program satellites. I found that out last night with the FT65. I can do it in VFO, but I can't save it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I know I haven't tried programming a dual frequency like that, but I'm guessing, I'm pretty sure I have an FT70, which I think will do it, and I have an FT991 that I know will do it. I've seen videos of people doing it on that. So
this guy here will do it. The 3, yeah, that's the outline of a 3DR.
I just saw a picture. I just saw the picture of the boat behind you.
So it's better to use 2 radios so you can hear yourself actually through the satellite.
Yeah.
But if you use a split VFO, you're just you're transmitting and then you're going back to receive, so you don't hear yourself. So you don't know if you're actually talking through the satellite unless you can hear your downlink.
Yeah, I do have an Arrow antenna also, and I've got the one that was behind me, the ARC log periodic. I was going to give it a shot tomorrow, but I might pull 2 radios out. Who knows? So I've got like a ton of them anyway.
Yeah, that's what I've always done. I mean, when I first started out, I used my FT817 on split mode, but it not as good a success than using 2 radios.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. I've never worked satellite. It was always used to be you had to have like 2 meter or UHF single sideband or whatever. So satellite was expensive.
Yeah, there's still satellites you can use do single sideband. The advantage of that is you can have multiple receive within the passband, whereas the FM satellites, it's just the same frequency up and down. Just one down frequency and one up frequency.
Do you have to point your handheld like in the sky a certain way, or do you just like put it straight like horizontal and you're just guessing?
If you want to hear it on like a handheld with just the rubber ducky, I have best success if you turn the radio upside down, leading the antenna out towards the satellite, so the broadside of the antenna is out towards the satellite. It's hard to work it without a Yagi though. Yagi works better.
Now, does it have to be cut for a 70 centimeter for that to work, since it's coming down for that, or does it matter when you're?
Well, I use the Arrow ones. I use the Arrow antenna that has the both 70 centimeters and the 2 meters. If you're, I've done it with the tape measure Yagi before, and it worked okay. But it's better to have a antenna that works both bands.
Maybe I'll just try to build that on that 1 2 then, just so I have like the 2 meter and the other one on there. Because right now it's just for setup for the 2 meter.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty easy to listen to them. I mean, I can hear certain passes, like in my mobile, just driving around. If it's coming over the top, I can hear people talking, but it's hard to transmit into the satellite without a directional antenna.
Now, are you also waiting for it to be as high in the sky as possible, or do you, like, after 45 degrees, you're just like nothing past below that or anything?
Well, the app I use, you can filter it out as far as seeing the information, and depending on, I usually want at least in the teens for the angle to even have hope of being able to receive it. Anything below 12 degrees, it's just there's too many houses, too many obstructions on Earth. And then the neighborhood I live in has 2-story houses, so I have to wait for it to come up anyways. But then I notice when it comes straight over the top, that's when you get the most extreme Doppler effect. So when it's lower angle and it's going across the sky, it's less of a Doppler effect than when it's going right over your head. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I can see that because then you're only tracking one side where it's like going straight over your head. You get that whole Doppler thing.
Yeah, because it's moving a farther distance. Where if it's lower in the sky, you're just tracking it from the side.
Right.
It's not coming at you and then going away from you.
You know, it'd be cool, Fred, if at some point, I know it's tough for you to break away with work and stuff like that, but if you have a free night that you know of, like in like, you know, it could even be a month down the road, get in touch with me or Jason or something, and we can put together, you know, if you can, we can help you, or we can all kind of work together and put together like maybe a 15 to 20-minute presentation on just like the how-tos of operating satellite mode, you know, just working with satellites and, you know, the ins and outs and how to set up your radios, just basic stuff. Because I think there's a lot of people that it interests them, and I'd say myself included. I haven't really done it, but it sounds interesting to me, like it would be fun. But it's another avenue down the ham radio hobby, and there's so many things to do and so many things to absorb, and especially when you're new. And myself, I've only been doing this a year, you know. There's a lot of different things to do, and you can't do it all at once. So if there's people like you that seems to be like what you really like to do, and you've done a lot of really successful videos with it, maybe we could get you to spend 15 or 20 minutes and talk about it on a night that you're free.
Yeah, I'm willing to do that. I just don't. I need to try to put something together, like some slides and stuff. But yeah.
I mean, take your time, but I think it would be really cool, and I'd love for you to reach out to us, and we could get something going, because I think there's a lot of people that would really be interested in doing it.
Yeah, I think I'm motivated to do that because I just still have my tech, and something you can do with your tech.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things. That's a great point. You know, there's a lot of people that haven't upgraded to a general license, and so they don't have the opportunity to talk on different, you know, frequencies, and so the things that they can do that are interesting and a little bit more involved, and just keep driving them into the hobby, you know. Did you find did you see yourself slow down doing it at all since you got your general, or you just?
Yeah, because I've been playing with the HF.
Yeah.
And like I got out, you know, yesterday night, tried to do the International Space Station. I'm trying to show my son, you know, stuff you can do, because he just took his tech test and passed it. He's just waiting for his call sign.
Oh, that's awesome.
And
how old is he?
He's 14.
Yeah, when I was a kid, my dad used to get on transmitter hunt. We used to, you know, Sunday morning, man, we'd be out doing a pea hunt, or Sunday or Saturday. It was lots of fun.
That'd be something cool to put together for him, Fred.
Yeah.
A little transmitter.
Yeah, we got that jammer on 3.3, and everybody goes, wasn't somebody finding what, you know, I don't know. Me and my son kind of talk about that. We might get out there with the Yagi and some attenuators and see what we can find out. I'm trying to get some big potatoes out of the oven.
Yeah. Well, I think it's starting to get pretty late, and I got kids to put down. I think everybody's got things to do, so I think it's a good time to call it. Is there any last words, final words? I will say that next week we've got a really cool presentation that Jason's working with somebody to put together, so make sure and tune into Ham Radio TV next week for the 2 Meter Crew Anti-Net. And again, a big thanks to everybody who shows up and is involved and chimes in. It's really kind of what makes it successful. This thing has exploded since its inception, and it's just because people are excited about the hobby, you know. So we just want to kind of do everything that we can to keep it alive. And if anybody has any suggestions, they're always welcome to bring them up on Discord or to Jason or myself directly, or anybody, and we can try to share that information. And that goes as far as different topic ideas, stuff like that. So definitely let us know what you all think. So I appreciate it. Anybody else have any last things to say?
So, Nick, when are we going to get on 40 meters?
What's that?
When are we going to get on 40 meters and talk?
We can do it. We can do it anytime. I can't do it tonight, but
Okay.
but we can set something up. Just text me and let me know, because usually 3 or 4 times a week, later in the evening, 9:30 through 11, I'm somewhere on an HF band talking to some stranger that I just met in some other state. So I like it when I run across people that I know. And I like it when I run across people that I don't know too. It's just always fun to meet new faces and talk to people and find out what's going on in different parts of the country. So yeah, one of these nights, just let me know and we'll figure it out.
Yeah, that seems to be what's working for me outside of the state and stuff. I get all the local guys here on 80 meters, but all my farther contacts are on 40 meters.
Okay.
Yeah, I got into Vancouver, so I know I can get into you.
Yeah, that's good. I was surprised on a 2-meter simplex contact that I got down to Hillsboro from my QTH. Well, I was up. It's close to my QTH. I was up on a peak that is like 5,500 feet of elevation, so nothing crazy, but it's high. And Hillsboro is like 185 miles from me. That was pretty cool. That was fun.
We got some of the repeaters out here that reach well over 100 miles just because of the elevation they're at.
Yeah, I mean it's amazing. The 3.3, that's one of the big I guess callings to it, is just it's got such a wide footprint. If you're in a relatively clear shot of the Sacramento Valley, you're hitting it from super far away. I mean, almost up to like the Tahoe area and stuff. There's a big footprint for that repeater, and so that's why a lot of people like it. Roy, are you intentionally sharing your screen with us? I don't think he knows. Roy?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Roy's muted.
Hey Roy, can you unmute your microphone? Roy. I don't know. I'm gonna see if I can screen share him.
That says mute.
There you are. Okay, now you're back. Are you trying to share your screen with us, Roy?
Yes, I'm trying to share. Yeah, or come up with something.
All right.
Nick, I live up here in Renton, Washington too.
Yeah.
I'm having a problem with a 2703 Icon Alpha. Every time I key up, it says mute. And with this other little hand radio, it doesn't transmit. It finds the frequency, but it says mute. And I've been trying to get it off the mute function so I could use it.
The ICOM 2703A. It's a 2-meter 440, relatively new.
I don't know how new it is, but it's a mobile that until I can get it off a mute or whatever, I can't put it in my car.
Does that have Roy, does that have a face that comes off of it?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, okay, perfect.
But if anybody would like to email me about anything or any help on it, I'd appreciate it. And I'll give you my email.
Try this real quick. Do you have it on, Roy?
No, it's not. It's off right now.
Okay, so you're not in a position to test it right now.
Doesn't take much to turn it on.
Okay. Is it right in front of you?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see what we got here. 2703, or that's the 2730. Is it a 2703A?
27308. Right.
2730A, okay. 30A.
On it about Icon 2730A subband mute these two.
Mute. Push to turn the mute function on or off. Let's see here. Control F. Mute.
I put this back on. Got everybody on the screen.
Power key. Push to mute the audio. Push and hold for 1 second to turn. Try hitting the power key just one quick time. Not holding it, just hitting the power key once. Does that change anything? Because that should mute audio, so that's not going to do anything for you. Okay.
Power key.
Function.
Power key, function key comes up with mute and a 146.820.
So right here, there's a function key for MW, mute, DTMF, TX, and TCall. This is just a setting. Following functions can be set to F1 and F2 to use during receive and standby or during transmit. So I think, Roy, that you just have a menu setting that that's causing that to do that.
All right. Well, send me an email or something about that key, and I'll reset this radio.
Do you have the owner's manual for the radio?
Yeah.
Okay. And you've looked through it and you can't find that?
I've been through it about 3-4 times, and there's nothing in there that says anything about mute.
Okay.
One guy wrote from ICOM, he wrote me back and says, well, it says mute and not off. And I go, well, yeah, it's off because you're off frequency.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that you're off.
Yep.
If you're on a frequency beyond what it's supposed to transmit.
Audio mute functions. Tone squelch. Yeah, I can definitely look into it. If you want to look me up on QRZ, my call sign's listed there on my name. It's KN6DAL. Write that down, and you can email me, and I'll that way we can swap some information. And I'm happy to give you a call and see if there's a way that we can help you change that setting in there. And I'll read up a little bit about your radio. I don't have any ICOM equipment. But if I can't help you, I will get you to somebody that can. I know we didn't leave a whole lot of space there. I wish you would have jumped on prior to a couple of these guys leaving, because Chris has a lot of ICOM equipment, and he probably knows the menu settings real well. So, but we'll get you the answer. We'll find a solution to it. Okay.
Okay, Nick. I will look you up there. That's got your email address on there?
Yep, my email's good on QRZ, and then you can just email me. I work 12-hour days, so sometimes I don't respond real quick, but I will get back to you, okay?
I used to work for Boeing's, too. I got retired in 99.
Oh, well, there you go. All right, well, everybody, I think we will...
Thank you very much.
We'll go. Yeah, you're welcome. I think we will. We'll call it.
How do I get this back onto share?
I'm gonna turn your share off.
Oh well.
If I can.
It takes so long for me to find you guys every week, and I wind up 8, 9 o'clock before I find you, and I know you start at 7. But boy, it just takes me a long time to find you guys. Did somebody send me an email about each time you change from the Ham Shack back to where it's what is it, Ham Fires TV?
I don't know how to turn off. Can you turn off your screen sharing? There we go.
There you go.
I booted it.
Yeah,
all right. Well, I'll say 7-3s to everybody. Thanks for coming out tonight, and we'll see everybody next week. All right.
All right, Nick. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Bye.